The 8th commandment seems so cut and dry. Don't take what isn't yours, a simple line. But stealing wears 1,000 different masks and hides in places no one ever asks. You steal when you show up late to work each day, getting paid for hours you didn't really stay. You steal when you pirate the musician's song and say, it's just a download, nothing wrong. Open hands, not clenched fists of greed. Open hands, giving more than what I need. The thief takes what was never his to hold, but the generous live richer than a room of gold. Open hands, this is how I live. The more I open up, the more God gives. Ephesians 4:28, the thief must steal no more, but work to have something to give to the poor. You steal when you take credit for another's sweat. You steal when you make promises and then forget. You steal God's tithe and wonder why you're broke. Malachi 3:8, will a man rob God? He spoke. You steal your children's childhood with your phone, present in the room but mentally gone. You steal your spouse's trust with little lies and slowly build a wall of compromise. Open hands, not clenched fists of greed. Open hands, giving more than what I need. Let me tell you about a thief who got it right. He was hanging on a cross next to Jesus, a criminal, a convicted thief, and in his final hours he turned to Jesus and said, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus, bleeding, suffocating, dying, looked at this thief and said, today you will be with me in paradise. Luke 23:43. The greatest thief in history stole something that day. He stole salvation with 3 words, remember me. And Jesus gave it freely, because grace is the one thing you can take that God will never call stolen. Zacchaeus was a tax collector, a professional thief. He climbed a tree just to see the Lord beneath, and Jesus called him down and changed his life. Zacchaeus said, I'll give half to the poor, and if I've cheated anyone, I'll pay back 4 times the amount. Luke 19:8. That's what happens when you meet Jesus. The clenched fist of greed becomes an open hand of grace. The taker becomes the giver. The thief becomes the philanthropist. The greatest theft is stealing from yourself, burying your talent on a shelf. God gave you gifts, a voice, a skill, a mind, and keeping them from the world is a crime. The parable of the talents makes it clear. Matthew 25, the servant who lived in fear buried what was given, hid it in the ground, and the master said, you wicked one. How that word resounds. So I will live with open hands today. I'll give my time, my talent, and my pay. I'll pay for what I consume. No shortcuts, no cheat. I'll honor every worker, every receipt. I'll give God what belongs to Him, the first and best, and trust that He will take care of the rest. I won't steal joy by comparing what I lack. I'll count my blessings and never look back. Open hands, the life I choose to live. Open hands, there's always more to give. The closed fist holds nothing but its own decay, but the open hand receives God's blessing every day. Open hands, I will not take, I'll earn. Open hands, this is what the 8th commandment burned into my heart, into my way of life. Open hands, cutting greed out with a knife. If you've stolen, there is grace. If you've taken what wasn't yours, there is restoration. Zacchaeus paid it back 4 times over. The thief on the cross received paradise. It's never too late to open your hands. Open them now. Let go of what you've been gripping and watch what God fills them with. Open loving heart.